Why do we collect taxes? Bolo gaade. Why do we collect taxes? You collect or me collect? No. Who collects? Government collects taxes. Why? To again redistribute or use that money towards facility or infrastructure to everyone. Yes? What are that proverbs or sayings we had seen? Kalidas was saying about something. Taxes are like moisture, like sun draws moisture, right? And it redistributes as rain to all of them. Yes or no? Right? And what did Albert Einstein say? He was practical like us. It is the hardest thing to understand, right? So he was very much practical like us. Yes? Okay. So quickly go through a syllabus. Paper number 4, taxation. 60 marks and 40 marks. Right. All entire 100 marks for theory, objective. So what is the addition we have seen now? Change in paper pattern. 30 marks, objective. So now they have said total 30 marks, objective. Internal bifurcation will be with the same proportion, hopefully 60% and 40% with income tax and GST, right? We are starting initially with income tax. Taxation is like sun drawing moisture from earth. It what absorbs or evaporates water and again redistributes it as rain. So it is for the benefit of all, yes or no? It is for the benefit of all. And who is doing this responsibility? In earlier times it was kings and kingdoms. They were collecting taxes from citizens, yes or no? And what did he say? Collection of taxes is like an art. Why it is an art? We should not collect so much that people or citizens feel they are being exploited or oppressed. So they are paying too much of taxes but not getting anything in return. That should not happen. There has to be a good balance, some proportion between tax paid to the government and services received back from the government. So whose responsibility is to collect tax as well as provide services? Government. Very good. In earlier times it was the kings and their kingdoms, yes? And the most practical thing we have seen is, it is one of the hardest thing, yes? Why? We will see that. The income tax is quite huge compared to GST. Okay? So types of taxes are what? Direct taxes and indirect taxes. You might have learned also in economics earlier. Yes, what is the main differences between direct and indirect taxes? Direct taxes, the burden of taxes is on that same person himself. That means someone else is not liable to collect and pay to the government. So burden is on that person who is earning the income and he himself is supposed to pay to the government. And what about indirect taxes? The burden of tax is shifted to someone else, on someone else. A person is paying tax but someone else is collecting on his behalf and paying it to the government. So there are total 3 parties in indirect taxes: taxpayer, tax collector and government. It goes in the government's treasury. And what about direct taxes? There are only 2 parties involved, taxpayer and the government. The taxpayer himself will pay to the government. Yes? Which tax is a progressive tax? Direct tax. Why? Because the tax amount is dependent on income, ability to earn, ability to earn. Depending on your income, you pay that taxes, right? So a poor person may not pay taxes, right? Of course, obviously, below poverty line person will not pay taxes, and the person who is extremely rich, has luxurious life, he will pay more taxes. So that tax is dependent on his income. Yes or no? And what about indirect taxes? Is it progressive tax? Not as such. We call them regressive tax. That means a little bit backward. Why? Is it dependent on income? It is dependent on expenditure. That tax is dependent on expenditure. The more the country spends, the more taxes collected in form of indirect taxes. So, if you're spending same amount, okay, 2 separate persons spending same amount, they will be also contributing same amount of taxes. Irrespective of those 2 persons are rich or poor, they are of same economic status or not. Are you following? What example did we discuss yesterday? BMW and truck. Diesel used in BMW and diesel used in truck. The percentage of taxes are same on both of them, but the use of that diesel may be for different purpose. One is for luxury, another is kind of necessity for transport. Are you following? So same goods will be might be used for different purposes, but they will be charged at same rate irrespective of the person using it. But in income tax, is it like that? Income tax is person specific. Yes. Income tax is levied on individuals or organizations. Do you remember? Yes. Individuals like you and me, human beings, persons, yes, or organizations like firm, LLP, companies, etc. And what about indirect taxes? They are levied on all of them. Whoever spends, the person spending, on him the tax is levied. Yes, are you following? Can the government know who has ultimately paid the tax in indirect taxes? Can the government know? No. They will only know from whom they are collecting, who is the agent who is collecting tax on their behalf. But what about income tax? Can government or income tax department know who has paid income taxes? Yes, there is a clear-cut identification in income tax. Are you following? Yes. What were the old regimes we have seen? Regimes means old taxations which have now been abolished in some part, in some way. Excise, service tax and VAT. Customs is still there. Customs, like I said, is part of your final syllabus. And we have two levels, central, union and state. Okay. List 1, list 2 and list 3. Very good. List 1 specifically for central. List 2 specifically for state. List 3 for both concurrent. So some authorities or powers are given in list 1, which was excise and service tax, let us say, right? Are you following? That means only central government or union government is authorized or was authorized to levy excise and service tax. Can state government levy service tax? No. And what about list 2? VAT, value added tax, was levied only by state government, right? Are you following? So that was given in list 2. This we have seen already a little bit. This is the same thing, difference between direct taxes and indirect taxes. Then we saw this also, budget. 1 rupee or entire amount, whatever is received